good first step would be to start with submitting your stories to various magazines, websites, competitions and prizes. A lot of us living in various parts of the world have absolutely no idea what goes on in the world of agents and publishers. A good place to go to would be by starting with a website such as the commonwealthwriters.org. You know, we live in this connected world where you don't really have an excuse about being in a far-flung area. I mean, if you're connected by the internet, you should have as much access to whatever resources there are out there as a person living in New York or London. Start by writing short stories is what I would suggest, because chances are there is no novel writing competition out there, and you know, even if you are interested in a novel writing competition, 90,000 words is a lot of work. Good luck with that. A good place to discover if you have any talent, if those Facebook likes that your friends have been bestowing on your stories that you post on the site are indicative of any talent, is to turn in your stories to magazines, to competitions, to prizes. It's a good way to develop a thick skin, because there are people out there who will hate your story as much as there will be people out there who like it. When I wrote the collection of short stories, I knew nothing about the market. I knew nothing about how publishers perceive short story collections. You know, I only found out a lot later that Arvind Adiga could not sell his first book, which was a collection of short stories, and then wrote his novel, sold it, and then could sell a collection of short stories. I also recently found out that V.S. Naipaul couldn't sell his collection of short stories. So is the short story dead? I don't think so, because as few and far between as the publications might be, there are publishers out there who are willing to take risks. Why did I choose to begin with a collection of short stories? Because a novel was too intimidating at that point. A novel was too vast. A novel was intimidating. It was only after I wrote the novel that I realized that writing the novel was a lot easier than writing a collection of short stories was. I mean, I may change my mind 5 years from now, but right now that's how I feel. I think publishers are still picking up short story collections, and I think they will continue doing that in the future. You know, at the risk of sounding like a person who is in love with himself, I will have to let you know that my short story collection did fantastically in the West and in the East. And people, you know, publishing pundits declared that we were committing publishing suicide by coming up with by publishing a collection of short stories before a novel. But we stuck to our guns, and I'm glad we did, because I'm glad we did, because a short story collection, because it was my first book, I was emotionally attached to it, and I did not want my second book to come out as my first book. That just didn't feel right. I think it is on the up. I think short stories are here to stay, and it's wonderful that there are all these opportunities, such as the BBC Short Story Prize. There are a ton of very lucrative short story prizes in the world. So if you're interested in a writing career, this might be one way to start.